Hello YouTubies, this is King Scribe. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I want to talk about character assassination, which is a sort of disgusting tactic that manipulative people actually use, and it's something that's been going on for a very long time. You get children having that happening to them, you get adults having it happen to them, right from the workplace to schools to colleges to universities, in the media, politics, at home, family life, in the workplace, in business, corporations, you name it. There's always somebody who is talking behind somebody else's back. The problem I have is not with these idiots, alright? It's with the people who just take it as a fact. Alright? You can't go around just believing every single thing you hear from anybody, including your family members. If somebody's saying behind somebody else's back that this person said something, blah blah blah, don't take it as fact. Don't just believe them in an instance. In fact, question everything. If somebody's saying, well, this guy said something and now these two people are not talking to each other, it might be a little bit nasty now and again, that guy. That's a character assassination attempt, and it might actually promote a way in which people will actually talk about that person differently when they're actually in front of the person. They might treat the person with contempt. They might build up images in their head that this person is a nasty person. Or they might actually build up an image that the other person who is claiming that they had an argument is the nasty person. But whatever happens, it's something that needs to stop. It needs to be controlled. It needs to be got under control, because this has probably happened to everybody. I mean, for instance, if you're not working, you have had your character assassinated already by the Conservative government. You know, they've done that, haven't they? For instance, if you have ever signed on unemployment, you know, they'll claim that you're a scumbag, that you're doing this and that, that you're lazy, uneducated. You can name it. But it happens so much that I can't see the joke of it. I don't see any way to actually get away from this completely. I don't think anybody who lives in a city or a town can completely escape character assassinations. And what makes it really so effective is not the psycho behind it. It's the mass psychosis. The people who believe everything they are told. And this is really serious. I've not heard anybody online, anywhere, talk about a solution for this. And it's very simple. It's a real simple fucking solution. The world will be a better place. There'll be less bullying of you know, more people who, you know, in school, for instance, who have their character assassinated so they don't make friends or whatever. There'll be less of this going on. The world will be a better place. There'll be more chance of peace in the world if this wasn't actually happening, because you can character assassinate other countries, by the way. The world would actually be a better place if this tactic was less effective. Why isn't nobody in the community, of the alternative community, actually talking about this? Why has nobody put forward a solution? Well, I mean, this is simple. I actually think the solution is really simple. You need to educate the public on character assassinations. Now, nobody's going to look online for the character assassination tab. It's going to be only the victims of it. So what you really need to do with the character assassination and smear campaigns is to put out as much satire as possible, so that people start to realize when they're being bullshitted. You see, satire can speak volumes to all people. In fact, you could do satire about what happens in schools, what happens in the workplace, how these psychopaths, psychotic individuals smear their own family members. And you know, there's this little whispering behind people's backs, gossip here and there. You could do that in a satire form. There's many ways of doing it, but is anybody actually doing it? No, I don't see it. Now, the jester spirit can defeat smear campaigns. I do see a little issue with it, by the way. Once we get past all this, where smear campaigns are, you know, in the mass media, where we actually understand, and more of the public understands it, I see a little danger, because the psychopaths and psychotics in charge will use it to make themselves look good. But you can, I mean, it should be determined by what you do, what you say, how you present yourself, not with what people say behind your back. And you know, sometimes you know, some malicious individuals will try to wind a person up, so they show themselves up, and then they can actually smear the person behind the back. So that should also be understood. But there's a really simple solution. It's so simple. I don't understand why it's never actually been used. I've not heard any jokes about it. I've not seen any satire about it online. No shirt memes, and people might say, "Oh, maybe." Well, it's having an effect, isn't it? I mean, most of you guys are saying it's not making a difference. You're on Facebook all the time. It does make an effect, and it's going to, I wouldn't say educate, but just make people more aware about what's going on, because this is kind of dangerous. You know, children in school, for instance, get bullied because they get smeared by their classmates or whatever, and then people don't want to make friends with them because they heard this and that. People at work tend to have their reputation tarnished by psychopaths and psychotics, and there's always a way around it. And I actually think this is one of my better videos. I'm coming at this quite strong, at least with the message. It's a very strong idea. It should be used. We need to put a curve on this. I said satire can be used as a weapon of mass destruction, basically. And the weapon of mass destruction with satire should be used to damage the ability of people to smear other people behind their back, and to make the public more aware of it. So nobody can just go up behind somebody's back and go blah 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 blah, this person, that person, this person, that person, because it's not going to have the effect that it used to have. If 10% of the people in the world knew about smear campaigns and you know, the character assassinations and how it works, I'm telling you one thing, they would be miles better at preventing it in the first place. People wouldn't just buy into it all the time, and people would be having better lives. I'm thinking this more in a way of making society better, making it more functional, because at the moment it's not functioning correctly. It's dysfunctional. You know, you can say anything behind somebody's back and the people will believe it. I mean, I have to admit and make an apology here. I smeared Mr. Blobby. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, even, for instance, even my friends list. I mean, I don't buy into the Russell Brand completely. I mean, I don't think he's completely evil. You know, people say, oh, he's a dick and all that. I don't care. You know, I'm not somebody who's going to project my difficulties in life onto him. So I don't just buy into everything, no matter who says it, because I think it's important that we get our values right. We're aware of dangers, of course, but you shouldn't start hating somebody because of what somebody else said behind their back or somewhere else. You shouldn't start hating other people because of that. For instance, I made a video about Dutton recently. You guys shouldn't just take that as fact and say this guy's a horrible guy, and of course this person was this is a piss take. But society as a whole has got to stop this shit, because it's becoming very serious, and it's very easy to smear a person's name nowadays. I could do it, no problem, even online, even to the awakened folks out there, no problem. It'll be very easy because people buy into it. So I think what we need to do at the first level is to make the smear campaigns, the character assassinations and the ad hominem attacks less effective, because if a certain percentage of the society knows about it, then it won't be as effective in future. Now, it is becoming more common knowledge. You know, I didn't know about this in the past, alright? But then again, I'm a bit different, because I actually went looking for how psychopaths actually work, mainly because I saw some people who were they believed in themselves even though they weren't very good at it. I'm a pretty decent runner, for instance, and there's always somebody out there who believes in themselves, very cocky, spreads smears against you, and they're not really that good. And you're thinking, why is this person so arrogant, so cocky, you know, with the dead eyes and the shit at running? You see, so this is the sort of thing I was actually experiencing. Also in the gym, you experience somebody who, you know, walks around cocky and all that. But then again, you shouldn't take what I'm saying about that person as fact. Alright, you shouldn't take what I'm saying as fact. You should question what I'm saying here. If I'm starting to talk about somebody else, this could be me trying to smear somebody else. So we really have to be smart about this. We have to educate the society. We have to use satire as a way to as a weapon. And the first part of this political agenda is to make smear campaigns less effective against anybody at all. Because I think if that happens, if the public is fully aware of smear campaigns and character assassinations and ad hominem attacks and, you know, gaslighting, etc., it'll be more difficult in the future. It won't be easy, because somebody will tell the other person what's happening and they'll support that person. The person won't be on their own all the time, and people won't just buy into it. Because the worst thing about smear campaigns is not the psychopath or, you know, the psychotic behind it. It's the people who believe in it. Alright? It's the people who treat others in a certain way. For I know, that person walking around tough and being cocky and all that could be having problems at home. Is, you know, kid could have died, or, you know, family member could have died, and might have had problems in the past with family members, and that's why he acts that way. You don't know that. I'm making that up as well, but we don't know. So we can't just judge people by what we see, about what other people are saying about them, because, you know, anything can cause that. So you don't believe anything. Don't believe anything that anybody is telling you about anybody. Even if, for instance, you know, they walk around tough and they're trying to screaming on the weights, and they're not that good. You know, they're lifting weights that are not very heavy. If somebody's saying that behind their back, the chances are they are trying to smear that person, and we don't know the psychology of the person behind it. You know, they could have been abused in the past, and the psychopath and psychotic sees that person as more vulnerable to a smear campaign, and that's when they actually start doing it. So we really have to be smart nowadays in the alternative community. We need to use satire to make it more aware to the public, because satire speaks volume and it appeals to the masses. These memes, etc., get shared around so much. You might not like fucking memes, but they're very effective to the masses now, aren't they? They get into people's consciousness. You need to use them. You need to think of some good ones, some good satire, because that in itself is a weapon, and it needs to be used. Now that we've found out what the weapon of mass destruction actually is, we need to use it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. Remember, I am king.